Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tara Jones and I have with me my girl Fanny. Are you going to come over here, Fanny, and join us? So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over an exercise again that I've reviewed on two other previous video tutorials called the never-ending circle. The first time we did it with Valencia, my very young horse with about 10 rides under her belt, and she performed the never-ending circle at the walk. Then I went ahead and I used my thoroughbred mare Jiggy, who's a little bit more intermediate than she was, and showed you this exercise with the 17-hand huge horse doing it at the trot. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you with my most advanced horse, Phantom, how you can use this exercise to incorporate it with the canter. Now remember, you want to go back and you want to make sure that you get this really good at the walk and then at the trot, and then you can go ahead and add in the canter like Phantom and I are going to do. Do you have a fly? So what we're going to show you today is how I use this exercise for not only Phantom, but any horse that I'm training to make them really good at using their hind end and starting to transfer the weight back onto their lead leg to start teaching them to carry weight. Making circles is a great exercise, but is often overlooked by a lot of riders and taught incorrectly. One of the things that you want to remember when you're teaching any horse how to perform a circle or a series of circles is that you want to make sure that they are in fact pushing from behind and not pulling from the front. Once you generate enough forward energy and enough power from the hind end, then they can go ahead and almost rock back and sit down and start to really use their body to incorporate the impulsion or the push that they're going to need with the hind end to really start to use their body as a performance horse. Phantom is one of my horses that I do use for barrel racing, and she's also a horse that I use for a lot of my demonstrations. So we're going to just show you today how different it looks when you actually take a smaller horse who's had a lot of practice with an exercise like this. And mind you, Phantom is 20 years old, so she's not young anymore. But at the same time, I'm still always incorporating exercises like this into her regimen to make sure that the strength in her muscles remains the same. So as we go ahead and I'm going to show you the never-ending circle, I'll make sure that I provide the links of the walk and the trot videos that I provided earlier in the description box below. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for all the new videos coming up, and I'm going to go ahead and hop on Phantom to do this section of the exercise, and it's going to be a video voiceover so that I can go ahead and just take Phantom right through this exercise, and I'll be talking to you as I do it. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and hop on Phantom, and I'll see you soon.
Hi there, everyone. I'm back, and I'm mounted on Phantom. We're going to be showing you how to advance the never-ending circle into the canter. And Phantom's one of my more advanced horses, so she does this exercise fairly decent, as we're going to show you and demonstrate. I'm warming up at the trot, and I'm just going through the cones, and I will leave the link below of first Valencia doing this exercise at the walk, and then Jiggy doing this exercise at the trot, so you can see how to set it up and how to ride the pattern. So once I have Phantom pretty warmed up at the trot, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up my left lead canter. Now the first thing that you'll notice about Phantom is she's semi 4 beats at the canter, and that's due to the fact that she has a relatively short neck. She always struggles with a slower canter. She's much better with work and performance when she's moving at a faster pace. So when you see her canter, instead of the regular 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, occasionally you might see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 beat of the canter. So what I need to do initially is to push her a little bit more forward. But as I was setting up for this exercise, in order to get the cones in the frame of the camera, these cones are actually only set up about 3 steps apart. So Phantom can maneuver around these cones because she can get pretty round and make a pretty small circle. So as we're going through this exercise, I just wanted to show you how I keep her relatively bent to the inside. She's got a nice lateral bend to the left, and her inside hind left leg is stepping up towards the left front. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up the right lead canter departure. And again, you wouldn't want to advance this exercise to a canter from the get-go. Usually I'll set these cones up when I'm starting to teach the horse how to canter initially, and I'll make them about 10 to 12 steps apart, just so the horse has a good chance of learning how to balance on the canter circle. You want to definitely make sure you have a few prerequisites in mind first. One is that your horse does in fact pick up the correct lead. The other is that they do keep a true canter. So by that I mean they're not cross-firing or cross-cantering in the back. They're not trying to swap leads. They feel relatively balanced when you canter, and you have a pretty good handle on their turns and changes of direction. While the never-ending circle will enhance their canter and it will help them to rock back, what it will also do is make a horse that is imbalanced become a little bit more panicky if your circle is too small. So do take your time, build up to that circle, make it a little bit smaller and smaller and smaller as time goes on and your horse can handle it. Like I said, I would have liked to make the circle a little bit bigger, but for the sake of this video, I made it a little smaller so that we could set up the camera and film. So as you can see one more time, Phantom is a little bit forebeating at the canter. What really should be happening is she should be moving forward at a pretty good clip at the canter so that she's traveling up and through. And you can see that her ears are a little bit higher than her withers. And where I'd like to see her is a little bit lower so that she's using her back muscles more than her neck muscles. But for the sake of this video, I really wanted to show you that not everything's perfect, even with a 20-year-old horse. Now we're just having a little fun. Phantom, I do ride bridleless, and I do ride without anything. Please do not take this as an invitation to go ahead and try this with your horse at home. Phantom has had numerous years of training with this, and I do trust her extensively when it comes to riding her like this. What I'm doing is I'm holding the riding crop just so I can show you how I am manipulating my hips and using my body when I'm asking for the turn. So if you look at the end of my crop, that is going to match up with my hip. As I turn, I'm using my hips to initiate that turn. I'm not using my lower leg to initiate that turn. When I go to change direction or when I go to ask her to slightly turn, it's coming from my hip, not from my lower leg, which is a common mistake made by many riders. If you use your lower leg to only initiate the turn and you don't use your hip to initiate the turn, what's going to happen is your horse is going to fall in or out of the circle, which is then going to make their balance become a little off and make it harder for them to turn and change direction swiftly and use their hind end for balance as you're doing this exercise. Again, right here we're just showing you how to advance it to the trot. And you can see here Phantom's really, really responsive to my seat and my body. This comes from years of extensive training. It takes a lot to be able to ride a horse with nothing. And she is very, very responsive to all three of my riding aids, which are my feet, my legs, and my hand. So if you just go ahead and look at where the crop is pointing, that's going to mirror what my hips are doing. And you can see that I don't add the outside leg much. It's already being added from my hip usage. And I'm just going to say thank you to Phantom. I hope you've all enjoyed the never-ending circle and how you can advance this exercise. It's a great one to teach any level horse how to become more responsive to the rider's aid. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you on the next training exercise.